Oh, hi everybody. How are you? I'm gonna try and entice my dog to come with me. Do you want to say hi? No? Come on. I'm also gonna show you my haul, my Korean haul and my BTS haul, like the things that I bought. Come on, come on. It doesn't want to come. Okay. Okay. He is here. Did you miss him? Then say hi, baby. I haven't seen you in a while. Then say hi. Tell them I was not in Korea. Hello. Say hi to them. Say hi, hi, hi. Okay. Good to see you too. Have a lot of stories to share. I'm going to try and pack everything. But whatever we don't finish, we are just going to continue in the next live stream. But I will be back in Korea next week. Which is kind of weird, right? Kind of crazy. Okay. Well, I missed you guys too. I missed you. I missed you. I missed you all. Okay. So let's say hi to everybody. Hanako, Grace, Nadira, Carla, Donna, Jasmine, Leah, Amy C, Angel Star, Arlene, Michelle, Lisa Parker, Sarah, Jasmine, Carla girl. Carla, I have something for you. Emily, can you DM me on Patreon? It's just like media stuff. Because I know you like writing, so there's an opportunity that you might want. Emily, Tam, Gigi, Arlene, Lisa, Leah, Hanako, Grace, um, Michelle, Nadira, I Carmi, dun, A Brown, Just Me, CDV, Michelle, Cindy, Amy C, IMGG, Fire Butterfly, Kathy Nunez, Courtney, Angel Star on Twitch. We have some people on Twitch. Fire Butterfly on Twitch. Lisa Parker, Pia, Amy C, Saskia, Elizar, Becky, Lorena, also on Twitch. Leah, A Brown, Courtney, Michelle, Andy Big Night Sky, Sylvia, Robin Bryce, iCarmi, Coogie, Becky Beck, Lisa Parker, Genesis, Bangy Luna. I am back. I miss you too. Carla, Fire Butterfly, Portia, Courtney, Nikki, Lorena, Oriah, Michelle. They're saying hi to you, baby. Amy C, Leah, Carla Girl, Becky Beck, Saskia, Nunez, MLB, MLB, ML, MLB. I'm trying to read it. MLB Raid, Hanako Grace, Genesis, Cindy, Lydia, Purple Flower, PZ48128, Cindy, Nadira, Becky Beck, Joyful One, Fire Butterfly, Elizar, Tududun, Jasmine, Amy C, Cindy, Carla Girl, Xiaobai. If I'm not able to see you after months, Elizar, why? What's happening? Um okay. What's happening with you, Elizar? Okay, so okay, I have a lot of stories for you. Like a lot. Some of course will be reserved for, but anyway, but whatever we don't finish, we're just going to continue discussing it in the next live stream. I'll try to finish as much as I can. But first, while my dog is on my lap, because I want to show you some stuff, including some of the newspapers that were being given away during the Gwanghwamun concert. As you know, oh, you have a court case going on. Okay. Are you a jury? Court, are you a jury? Okay. Give us the tea. A lot of teas. But I'm gonna show you some of the stuff that I got, including the newspapers that were being given away. I plan on, because they are in Korean, most likely I can read them, but it's gonna take me months to even understand one of them, just one paper. So I'm gonna ask one of my friends, some of my friends, to just, whenever we see each other, I'm gonna ask them to read it and stuff like that. But I'll show you some of the newspapers. I will also show you some of the stuff that I got, especially the Arirang merch. I think a lot of the stuff that they weren't selling. I mean, they did not represent it well. What am I trying to say? Like, they didn't do it justice in the photos. Like, especially the bag, the purse that they were selling, it was really nice that I actually ended up buying it. But anyway, your video were great. Thank you. So during the course of my visit in South Korea for the Gwanghwamun concert, I tried my best to just take you everywhere that I went. Basically, I the minute that I landed, for those that were tuning in, the minute that I landed, I already took you to. I went online in the airport. I showed you how to get the pocket Wi-Fi, the bus ride, and of course Gwanghwamun. How did you have the energy to do everything? Seriously. I guess when you're like, the adrenaline is such a that it'll make you, it'll give you the energy to do a lot of things. So I share nothing, just BTS and The Sims. Okay. Elazar, yes, be careful what you share. Just limit what you can say, but keep most details secret. Okay. All right. Okay, Elazar, keep it a secret. We're not going to pry. Okay. So, and then, of course, I took you to the actual venue, because the minute I landed, as soon as I arrived in Seoul, the first order of business was to get my luggages in the hotel, and then I went to the Gwanghwamun Square. So for those of you who haven't seen that, it's in the live. I went live that night and then went live again the next morning to show you the progress of the setup. So I tried my best to just be as detailed as possible. I know it's not an ideal setup. I was just using my phone to actually do it. And then the first night I was there, I was hauling one of my luggage. It's a small one, but I was still holding it. And then I was holding the phone. And so, it's a little chaotic, but I tried my very best. I will re edit everything to try and remove the shake and all the interruptions that I had. But I will re edit them. So just hang on for those that want a more polished kind of videos. So, did we see you in Netflix broadcast? There were some people who told me that they did see me because I was dead center. I was dead. It's so crazy when you hire a a homeless, but I'll tell you about that in a bit. So I was dead center to the point that, so the very first song that they sang, so when they opened, I think the member that was right in the center was Jimin. So I was in dead center, that when they stopped, he was like right in front of me. That's how close I was. And that's how centered I was in my, like, the place that I ended up in. So yeah. Um some people told me that they saw me on Netflix. I hope by now that they caught it. I know that they've been cutting it better for everybody, because a lot of armies were complaining that they weren't really interested in seeing the crowd and everything. They just want to see BTS. So I think they've been re-editing the one that's on Netflix. So I hope they cut that out because I absolutely add no value to that show. Everyone should just actually focus on BTS. I did not faint. If you had a white scarf on your hair was partially pulled back, if yes, then I saw you multiple times. No, I was wearing a black cap. Okay, so I'll show you a little bit of just like a first-hand experience on what it was like. 9 a.m. The original, okay, so up until like around 1 p.m. and the concert was, as you know, 8, up until like 1 p.m. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to watch the show live or I was just gonna settle for Netflix because, as you know, I actually didn't have a ticket. I hired a homeless to actually get me in position or something. So um I wasn't sure. So 9 a.m. my daughter and I decided to just go around. We wanted to first go around Gwanghwamun. Um and we were planning to do two roundabout and then go back to the hotel. And then we wanted to go to the Shinsege pop-up store of BTS. So, oh my God, Jimin was right in front of you. I would have fainted. He was right in front of me. I was so close to the stage. I was probably like 2 to 3 rows. There weren't really rows, but I was probably 2 to 3 rows away from the stage. That's how close I was. Okay. So we were planning on doing two roundabouts, go to the Shinsege pop up, go back to the hotel, and then see if the homeless person could find me a spot. That was the plan. Okay, so 9 a.m. we went down, did the first roundabout, and by the time we checked our watches, so it was remember this is 9 a.m., right? We went, and I think I went live when we went down the first time. When we first had our roundabout. I went live there and I was like seeing I was so shocked about the newspapers and stuff. And so we were like, um, I said, wow, this is bad. I said, because we were moving so slow that by the time we were halfway through the first roundabout, and I call it roundabout because you know how usually on the side of the street, like where you walk, where pedestrians walk, it would be two-way, right? People can go north and south and whichever way they want. But in the morning of the 20th, it was one way. So you can only go around. If you miss your exit, if you're going to go on one street or another, you're going to have to go around again because they're not going to let you go back. So it's a roundabout or a literal roundabout. By the time we finished, when we were halfway through our first roundabout, it was like, remember, it was like 9 a.m. when we went down. It was right around 11:30, I think, and it wasn't that bad yet. And so I told my daughter, I said, I don't think we're gonna make it if we do another round. Why don't we go to the Shinsege pop-up center? Okay, no buses, no subways. We had to walk, and that's about 3 kilometers. Probably a mile or a quarter of a mile. Oh, no, 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 half a mile or something like that. It was long. Anyway, it was about 35 minutes from the end of the roundabout, one end of the roundabout to the Shinsege pop-up store. So we went there. We did not have a slot. My slot was like another day. We just took our chance and see if we can actually, sneak in. We weren't able to sneak in. So um we went there just like popped our heads in and just see if we were, if there's anything that we can spot or anything, nothing. So I was like, well, I told my daughter, I said, this is, they're not gonna allow us in. So I said, why don't we have lunch? Because she was hungry. And she was like, she chose a restaurant right in the Gwanghwamun Square. So we had to go around again, which was a really bad idea because, so remember, this was right around 11:15 or 11:30. By the time we got to the restaurant that she wanted to have lunch in, it was around 2. Okay. So that's half a roundabout. That's how bad it was. Okay. That so I was like, so she was really hungry. She was pissed. She was it was like, so I was just like, okay. So I said, just let's try and just have lunch. And I still was not sure if I was if I will be able to get a spot, if my guy was will be able to get a spot for me. So we tried to go to the restaurant that she wanted. We were not allowed in because they were so packed. There was absolutely not a single spot we can even stand in to eat, not even stand in to eat. So that's how packed it was. And that was something that was never captured in any of the news articles and media photos that I've seen. And I was wondering, why wouldn't they show that? So, you know how there are streets along um, the area in the Gwanghwamun Square, right? You can like there's an alley here, an alley there that you can go in if to find a whatever, a restaurant or whatever. All the restaurants in all of those little alleys are packed, and not a single media photo ever showed it. Not a single one. Each of those restaurants would rent out a space for people who would like to be in the area but don't have a ticket, and would just sell for a Netflix um, streaming but be in the area. Does that make sense? Because there are a lot of restaurants around the area. You will be able to hear them sing live from the Gwanghwamun Square, but of course not see them. So a lot of these restaurants put huge monitors in their restaurants, and then they would charge you extra so that you can sit there and watch the stream from there but hear BTS live from the Gwanghwamun Square. Does that make sense? Okay. So all of those restaurants had their space rented. Not a single media outlet reported that. And that's one of the ways all of these small businesses actually earned. So there were Norebang karaoke spots. They rented for extra. They, of course, up their rents. And then there were like little record stores, retail stores. They just put like huge monitors on their in their business, in their public space, and had it rented out. Every one of those businesses. And not a single media outlet reported that. So I was like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Why won't you? I was there. I was one of those people who were actually told if you want to go in. And this was 2 p.m. Remember, this was 2 p.m. We were trying to find a restaurant to eat in. And we were being told that, like, if you want to go in, you're going to have to rent a space because they were starting to rent out those spaces. Okay, so we found KFC was still open at that time. It's just that you're gonna have to find your own spot. So I had to stand like we just got lucky, but there were people who were standing there waiting for somebody to finish eating, and they would stand there for like an hour just so they can have a chance at finding a spot to put their bags down or a chair or whatever. There were tables good for two that were being shared by five people. That's how desperate people were. So my daughter and I just got lucky. I found one spot pretty quick, but then there were several armies who were standing. So I asked one of them, I said, you can put your stuff here if you want, or you can sit down. So they were carrying a lot of stuff. So I said, you can put your stuff here beside me if you want, just so you're not carrying them while you're eating, because they were standing. These girls were standing, eating on, on, on the trash bin because they did not have a spot. So I was like, my God. So I said, just put your stuff here so you're at least not carrying them. Or I said, if you want, you can sit here and we're just going to try like squeeze ourselves in this little table that we found. So she sat there, she got all of the stuff of her friends and then waited until couple, well, the friends that were occupying the table next to us to finish eating, and then they sat down. So anyway, we were sitting there, and then finally my homeless guy texted. He said, "Hey, I found you something." So I said, "Okay." So that was around 2:30 or 3, and I said, "Okay, great." I said, "I'm gonna go back to the hotel because we've been out since 9, right?" So I wanted to change. I wanted to get my army bomb. I wanted to get my boots because I had them with me. I actually carried them to Korea. So I said, I just wanted to get my boots because I was going to stand. I'm sure I was not going to see anything. And said, of course, I wanted my army bomb with me. This is the comeback. And so I said, I'm just going to go back to the hotel. And he said, like, I don't care where your hotel is. You're not going to make it back. You're going to have to come here straight. And I said, I have nothing. Like I only had my little purse and my phone, and that was about it. Of course, my ID. And he said, "You're not going to make it." I said, "My hotel is like 7 minutes away on a regular day." And he said, "If this is not a regular day, you're going to have to do a roundabout." And they kept on expanding the restricted area. So the roundabout kept on expanding as well. So he said, "You're going to have to go all the way to Myeongdong." And we were in the square. He said, "You're going to have to go all the way to Myeongdong to make it back to your hotel, and then go back all the way to Myeongdong again just to be able to go in the spot." So he said, "You won't make it. You're going to have to go straight here." I did not have a choice. And that was around 2:33, something like that. So stood up. I had to leave my daughter, and she had to go back on her own to the hotel. Went to the spot. Took me about, just to make it to the spot, took me about, I don't know, like maybe an hour. Um, so and then so I was there like 4:30 or something like that, maybe 5, and then realized I had to go to the bathroom. I had to hold it in all the way until after the concert because I couldn't leave my spot. Otherwise, someone's gonna take it. Anyway, I took some pictures. I will show you as soon as my dog gets off my lap. And then yeah, so but it was a pretty good spot because I was dead center. In the beginning, I was like, because I'm small, right? So the key was to go farther away from the stage, because if I go closer, those that are taller than me will just be in my face, and I will just be looking at their heads and the back of their heads and their hair and whatever. So I was trying to move further and further back just so I could at least see something, right? Because I'm very small and I did not have my boots with me. So I was trying to move away. I found the spot where most people were kind of like maybe 5'2" or something like that, because I can still, there's a line of sight where I will be able to see them. And in the freezing cold, that's another thing, because I did not have my padded winter jacket with me. So I was able to find a spot. I was actually posting on Patreon that the girl beside me was super tall. She was probably like 5'8" or 5'9". And she probably also did not expect that she wasn't going to be able to go back to the hotel because she didn't have her deodorant on. And I was just like, I'm gonna faint. I was like, I have a clear line of sight, but I will not be able to see anything because I'm sure I'm gonna faint. So it's like, oh my God. So I had to move and find another spot. so so I did find another spot. And unfortunately there were a lot of people who were taller than me, but I did not have a choice at that time, because I was like, in the beginning it wasn't bad and people started like crap anyway. So I was trying to move further and further back away, but I kept on getting pushed forward because people were just trying to get to the center and closer to the stage. I did not have a choice. So when you're in that crowd, you kind of just let people push you to the front. And before I know it, when the concert began, I was like, oh, hey, this is not bad. I'm like 3 to 4 rows away from the stage, maybe 2 to 3 rows away from the stage. Because he was like, when I was so shocked that when they ended, Jimin was in the center. It's like, I can see you fully. I was like, this is great. So yeah, I was like dead center. I was like, I got lucky. I was dead center. In the beginning, there were, I think I told you the story. There was like this woman who kept on putting her phone up, and blocking everybody out. But I had to move away from her spot anyway, so it wasn't that bad for me. Were you in reference to those who had seats? Where were you in reference to those who had seats? So those who had seats were on the left and the right, right? On the left and the right of the stage. And I was in the center, and we were all standing. So, yeah, center. So we were the family members of BTS were on our right side, and I think Becky G was on the left. She was standing on the left side. But we were in the center. Those that were in the center were standing. Yeah. Okay. You cracked me up with the Tony ponytail lady. Yeah, I did. So I pulled her, like, in the beginning we were like asking her politely, like, can you please put your phone down because we can't see a thing. And she wouldn't. So it's like, next thing we were trying to tap her shoulder, she still wouldn't put it down. And we tugged her like hoodie, she still wouldn't put it down. And then the husband was like, I'm her husband. I'm like, that's a useless information. I do not know why you have to tell me that. But so anyway, I ended up in the center. That's all that matters. And I enjoyed my time. I did try to shoot some videos, but not so much. I was like, this is going to end up in Netflix anyway. So I was like, I just want to enjoy my time, like really see the details of their performance, which I'm about to share with you guys. It's just that my dog is still in my lap. So okay, and then it lasted like an hour. We chanted for them to come back because we thought there was going to be an encore. There was no encore. So, like a minute after they went off the stage, a staff went on the stage and said, "Can you please stay put? We're gonna let everybody out." So those that were outside the barricaded area were being led out first. So for order and for security, they said, "Can you please stay put? We're gonna let you know when you can move." So basically, we were the last ones out. Okay. I would have said, "Oh, good, you're married." I think when he said like I'm her husband, I think the first thing I said was like it's a useless information. I said I don't need that information. But anyway, I understood what he was trying to say. But okay, how tall are you, Fairy Lane? You remind me of my mother-in-law, 4'10" and full of fire. I am 5 on a good day. No, sorry, 5 on an average day, 4'11" on a bad day, and 5'1" on a really good day, which is very, very rare. So usually 5, maybe 4'11". I don't know. Sometimes I look like 4'10". I would have said, I'm so sorry for you. Yeah. I did not hurt her though. I just tugged her like her hoodie and her hair was in the way. So I guess I was tugging her hair unconsciously. Okay, question. In your estimation, how many fans do you think were there? I think the exact count of the ticketed people, because remember they limited the tickets, right? It was like 21,000. So that's not guesswork. Big Hit actually had that number. These were the ticketed people. And then, but overall, those that were in the area, including the people that chose to stand and just, just find the spot, like the homeless person. There were a lot of them, by the way, who was just trying to find a spot to be able to watch the concert. And of course, those who hired or rented places around the area, I'll probably say like 140 to 160 people. Because what was amazing to me, as I've mentioned, was that a lot of these media reports didn't even mention that restaurants, establishments, Norebang, and we're talking even record stores were renting out their spots, their places, so that people can actually stay within that area, hear BTS perform while watching them on Netflix. No one reported that. That was like amazing for me that no single media outlet would mention that. Had I known, I would have taken a damn picture of every establishment that was doing that. But I thought because there were a lot of media people going around Gwanghwamun area interviewing people, shooting like their footages. Not a single one reported that. It was mind-boggling for me. Okay, let me put my dog down. Okay, baby. Yeah, okay. Okay. He wants to go down. Okay. All right. I'll show you something here to give you like an idea of the spot. Where was that? I think here. Okay. So is this it? Maybe give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you something that is pretty interesting. Um okay, 1 second. Oh, here. Okay, so this is okay. Sorry. Okay. I'm gonna show you something because a lot of people were wondering why, like the actual Gwanghwamun Square, the actual crowd looks so um like loose. And I'm gonna show you one thing. Give me 1 second to find it. This was okay. Okay. So here, I think because a lot of people were wondering, like, were they too strict? What were the police too strict in where is it? It says 37. Okay, 1 second. Um, okay. I'm such an idiot. Okay, here. So here's one explanation, and I think one of the um reasons why the area looked loose, meaning it didn't look packed. And that is one thing that people kept on using against BTS, that they underperformed or whatever. Okay. So if on the top of your screen, you can see King Sejong, right? Okay. Before, beyond King Sejong, there's another barrier that would keep people from seeing the actual stage. Okay. So right in front of that barrier is the standing crowd. That's us. And then the actual stage. All right. So unless you're actually in front of that barrier in front of King Sejong, you're not gonna see BTS. There's just no way in hell you're gonna see BTS. Okay. So now the police actually restricted and opted to make sure that there is enough, there's more than enough. Like, if you can see the spot in front of King Sejong, you see that square right there, and you can see that only a quarter were allowed to be occupied. So that square right in front of King Sejong, only a quarter of that was allowed to be occupied by the crowd. And that is by design. Like when they set up the seats, those are all the seats that were provided. So more than three-fourths of that area were left empty by design. And from what we understood, it was the decision of the police to do that because they did not want to risk any kind of stampede, which they thought was going to happen. Okay, so that's one problem. The police required that the crowd be loose by design. Okay, this is not my aerial pictures. um so 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 that's one of the problems. They purposely made it loose because they did not want to risk any kind of stampede. Okay, and then if you can see on the on your here on this, sorry, on this side, sorry, yeah, on this side, this this one. The one, okay, so you can see that's the road, right? In other, as far as we understood, in other events, when there are other shows, they would usually, or any kind of event, they would usually allow that entire area to be occupied, including the road. So, but for BTS, they restricted it. They did not want those occupied. They wanted to leave it vacant for people to be able to, I don't know for what, for people to be, because that area is barricaded anyway. So if you're walking in Gwanghwamun, you're not going to be able to walk in that area on that road. You're going to have to walk on the side street. So to a certain degree, I was like, so why didn't you just allow people to occupy? Why didn't you just allow Big Hit to issue tickets to occupy that area if you're not going to allow people to stand there anyway to watch the concert? But anyway, that's the situation, right? It's done. I'm just telling you what happened. Okay, so that's another thing. And this is just less than half of the zone that were ticketed. Beyond this, there were also spots that were ticketed. But just like this one, the side, which is the road on either side, it was left open. So there were very, very limited space in the middle that were allowed to be occupied by ticketed people. Okay. So in like other aerial shots, you will see like, and this is being used by many haters. Like you see, it's not like full, it's not packed or whatever. Well, that's by design. The police wanted to make sure that there is not going to be any kind of stampede, that if people want to leave, I don't know what it is that was going on in their head. I'm not a security person or whatever, but that's basically what happened. There were many areas and spots that were just left by design blank and vacant by the police, and it was the police who wanted it that way. That is why there were very few tickets that were sent out, made available to everyone else. The other thing was that the ticketing was apparently required by the city to be open to everybody, not just to Weavers members. So it wasn't Big Hit's choice. This is what we have heard, that it wasn't Big Hit's choice to make it available only to make it available to everybody. It was the city who wanted to make it available to everybody because they are using a public space. Okay. So hope that is clear. Now, I've said when right after the live stream and in the video that I did after that, I said that I think the Seoul police actually did a good job. I As an army, I would want more people, more armies to enjoy the concert, to enjoy the comeback, because based on what we heard from people who couldn't even see BTS, people that were in this area and just watching the entire thing from the screens right in front of them, they still had a good time. So, personally, I would want more people, more armies to enjoy the comeback. But at the end of the day, the police and the private security were still able to achieve the basic goal that they set for themselves. And that is to make sure there were no accidents, no chaos, no stampede, nobody got hurt, at least not no one that was significant enough to make it in the news. They kept BTS safe, they kept the families of BTS safe, and they kept army safe. So, did the police and the private security accomplish what they set out to do? They did. Was it frustrating for armies that there were very few of us who managed to enjoy the event? It was frustrating. But in order of priority, I would rather prioritize that BTS and armies be kept safe because the threats were real. There were real people sending threats and whatever. They achieved their objective. Everyone was safe. They successfully made a comeback, and the impact economically was felt. So for me, it was a good event. Okay. So I hope that is clear. There were a lot of things that didn't make it in the news. I'm going to further discuss that in a bit, but it is what it is. So the news would have blown stopped. Oh, yeah. I mean, if anything happened in that event, and I stand by this, I think if anything happened in that event, it would be a tragedy that BTS won't be able to come back from. They would have canceled their world tour. They would have been demanded to pay for everyone's rest of their lives or whatever. So I think it was at most priority for everybody to just keep everyone safe because that is not a tragedy you want attached to BTS's name. I mean, there have been a lot of tragedies that were attached to Western artists and they always recover. But Korea is an entirely different animal. So that is not something we want associated with BTS. So at the end of the day, I still am very thankful that the event actually went on without a hitch. Um, I heard there were also terror threats. There were terror threats primarily connected to because a lot of people were saying like this was going to be an ideal event for terrorists to do something because it's a cultural event. People were there gathering in the heart of Korea's cultural area. It's being led by the biggest band in the world and fans who were really there just to celebrate the culture and the music. It would be like an ideal event to cause chaos. So yes, there were. I have watched the 2.0 MV at least 1,000 times. Okay, so yes, BTS and the hype would have gotten in trouble if something happened. Yes. So okay, I'm gonna show you some of the stuff that. So if you are planning on buying some of the merch of BTS, I went to the HYBE pop-up store, and that is by design. Again, when I put, but thank you, Jazzy. You are back safe, and I enjoyed all the live streams you did for us. How was the airport when you came back? The airport was a little relaxed already when I came back. It was chaotic when I landed in South Korea. So I think I was able to go online after I got my luggages, primarily because we weren't allowed to shoot or put our videos up during immigration or whatever. But it was the busiest, the immigration. It was the busiest I have ever experienced immigration in any country that I've been to. I think it took me a good hour and a half in immigration. So it was like it was packed. And everyone, like 90% of those, probably 95% of those that arrived, they were armies. They were there for the event. So like it was like happy because everyone was just there for BTS. So you can just like talk with anybody and you know they'd be an army. But still, standing for an hour and a half, there were just way too many people. Kudos to Korea because they did put everything in order. Like it wasn't confusing at all. You know where the queue is. You know where everyone was lining up. No one was like sneaking into trying to get into every. No, none of those. It's just that you're standing there for a long time. And by the way, that's the same case in Gwanghwamun. Like it was orderly in that you know where you're supposed to go. There were no questions or whatever. No confusion. There were just way too many people. So, can I set Te own this comeback? Can I say? Can I say Te owns this comeback? I'm happy to your. You can say whatever it is that you want. Did you meet any army from other countries that recognized you? There were two. Um, I'm gonna share that in a bit. But yes, there were two. There were two in Seoul and then one in sorry, two in Busan in the cafe. I'm happy that BTS event went well, especially for BTS. Okay, so I'm gonna show you. So if ever you're going to make it in the pop-up store, if you're planning to buy anything, I was actually planning on buying the hoodie. That's what I went there to buy. And then I saw the purse. And my God, they did not do it justice when they took the photos because it was so beautiful. So I thought it was like an ordinary canvas bag. It is not. It was just like it's a beautiful, beautiful one. So plus the keychain, yeah. So that's what I ended up buying. Um, I also don't know if I will be able to do this justice, but okay. I'm going to show it to you. It looks very nice. So I ended up buying this. This is, I don't know, like maybe I can't remember the price, 60 maybe or 80. And then I had no plan of buying this keychain. So you can put it there. You can hang it, which is what I'm planning to do. So that's the keychain. That would be in a frame, not used at all. Yes. And then, so that's one keychain that you can put. This is another one. This one, it's a chain, a keychain. And then this one too. Okay. And then there's another one. So I would highly encourage everybody to like take a good look at the bag because it was so pretty. Yeah, it's a bag. I also wanted to buy the skirt, but and I kind of regret not buying it. I probably should go back and buy it. And then the card holder. This one I plan on using when I go to Korea because this is gonna fit your T money. The card that people use to get into train stations and whatever buses. Okay. So all of this you can actually like put in the bag, like hang it like that. Yeah. So yeah, I was supposed to buy the hoodie and I was like, my God, this is so pretty. So I ended up buying this and all three keychains, which was not in the plan. But it was just really, really so pretty. Okay. So let me put this back. I think the only other mistake that I made is, I always buy two of each, right? I only bought one. Because I was thinking like, I'm gonna go back to Korea next week for the comeback concert. So it's like maybe I should just buy it then if I end up really liking it, which I did. I ended up really liking it. So the card holder change purse is so pretty. It is very pretty. So this one I'm gonna be using when I go back to Korea. Um, this is what I'm going to be using for the tea money. Um, And then also, I'll give you some tips. You can get a WOW pass, which is specifically designed for foreign visitors in South Korea. Um, that gives you better exchange rate. The only reason I didn't get it is I already have a T money. So, but if you ever are going, try to look for the WOW pass. Can't wait for the concert. Yes, I can't wait for the concert as well. Okay, so give me one more second. I'm gonna show you some stuff. How many? Okay. All right. So I did get the cap though, the red cap, because I wear caps anyway. So I'll show you. So it's nice. I'm not a bag carrying one. I'm not either. It's just really nice. I usually carry like very small purses when I go around, just enough to carry. So when I go to South Korea, um, I always, of course, have my passport with me wherever I go. I have my tea money. I do carry cash because if I want to buy like bargain stuff, it's always cheaper if you pay in cash. And then I have my portable charger with me. And then like just basic stuff that I need to carry. So I do still need a purse. I just don't carry like a big one. Okay, and then I'm gonna be showing you. So I lost my BT-21 keychain. It just fell out of my purse. I don't know, like maybe it got pulled or something. So I had to buy a new set. The only one that was left was Sugar's BT-21. So I had to buy a new set. So I lost Chimi and Cookie. So I bought a new one in BT. So they closed the Itaewon line store, which is the birthplace of BTS of BT-21. But all the stuff, the original drawings, they transferred it to Myeongdong. So it's in the line store in Myeongdong. If you want to see their original sketches, the original sketches of the BT-21 characters, if you want to see the handprint of the boys, they're all in Myeongdong line store. It used to be in Itaewon because that was the birthplace of BT-21, but they moved it because they closed the line store. Okay, so this is where I bought them because this is the two that I lost. I think I lost them when when I went to so I went to the school of Jimin and the middle school of Jimin, the oh yeah, middle school of Jimin. I went to his school. I also went to the grade school and middle school of Jungkook, and then grade school and middle school of Jimin, all in Busan. And somewhere there, I left my keychain of this two fell. So I left a souvenir in that place. Anyway, there's a funny story behind that as well. But maybe another day. So that's so there I bought that from the line store. And then I lost the rest of my BT-21 stuff. So I bought Lost in Busan of Chimi and Cookie BT-21. Okay, I know you're going to ask like why are these two different from the rest? Because these two were sold out in this type. So um I wanted to buy just thinner ones because I felt like I'm going to lose them again. So I wanted to buy something thinner. But this type of keychain for their character, it was all sold out. So, and I wasn't intending on buying Shuki because I still had his keychain. So, no need for him for now. Okay. I was thinking of what I have a lot. So, I was thinking of what to show you. I'll show you some of the newspapers. One of each. They were giving this away for free. Shimi and Cookie are filming an Are You Sure episode in there, probably in Busan. Okay, so that's one newspaper. You didn't lose them, somebody wanted them worse. Yes, they are from mainstream media outlets. So um they all had a special issue of the newspapers. And this were being sold for like $50 online. Like people were selling them on eBay and they were free. So this is an entire newspaper dedicated to BTS. Profiteers. So yeah, so if you walk around, you can just grab one. Some people would grab like 10, 20, and then I saw them selling them online. I think the most expensive I saw was a grand, and it was for all set for this complete set. Like if you pay him a grand, he'll give you a complete set. And he was like, "Oh, this is actually free." But my effort, because it's so hard to get them, it isn't so hard to. Well, I guess it's hard to get them because you're gonna have to go around the area. But you do need, like, if he was going to send it to like 100 people, imagine how much he had to carry with him, right? There were one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12. So one set would be, if you want to get like a complete set, it would be 12. So yeah, like that one, this is a complete, an entire special newspaper, all dedicated to BTS. So I will just find a way on how to scan them, whatever. It is, and it smells good. It does smell good. FedEx, yeah. Actually, one of the things that um, I kind of later on regretted was just that I said I should have just shipped all of this stuff back into. I could have gotten like, for example, 20 of each or 30 of each, and then just ship it back to the US because it costs around $75 if I ship like a small box. And then I would just like give you guys a copy or something. That was something I should have done, but forgive me, the stress and just the exhaustion. I did not think of that until much later on. Because my daughter actually got like, she was trying to get like more than 5 copies each. And I was like, don't get all of them. It's so heavy. Because we were walking around. Okay. If you want to scan the QR code, go. I hope you got that. This is also an entire newspaper about them. Okay. So I will find a way on how to scan them. Maybe FedEx can help. And then I'm just going to give everybody a copy, a scanned copy of each. Okay. I have a BTS magazine collection, 2 small boxes so far. Okay, and then so apparently I went to Olive Young because I wanted to support V and Jimin. So apparently the tier foundation, that's a foundation, right? I don't wear makeup, so I'm not sure if I'm calling them correctly. They had different shades. So initially I was like, I won't be able to use this because I don't use powder in my face. So I it's like I can't use this, but my daughter does. And the red one apparently had different shades. So she actually found one that fit her. So I was able to buy that for her. I was able to support V. But it is with her and she is in the Philippines. And then I bought Jimin's. This is in most stores sold out. So I would advise that if you ever are going to Korea to buy this in Olive Young, if you find one, buy it because in most stores they're sold out. I was able to buy this in Busan. All the stores we went to in Korea, they were sold out. Sorry, in Seoul, they were sold out. So uh, we had to go to Busan. It was when we went. Was it Busan or prop? No, sorry, Daegu. Busan was already sold out. So I found one in Daegu. So if you're going to get one, if you find one, get them because you're probably not gonna find them in another store. And then I did just because I wanted to support Cordis, I found I got the Toriden lip something oil, lip oil. And then did anyone receive GQ March magazine? I have. You have not? I have. You have to email or chat their customer service. And then so this is Wani Eyelit. This is her shade, which is pretty good. I actually intend on using them. But the shade was pretty. Wait, that's a poor way of showing it. It's pretty. Yes, so I got a full set of that, but my daughter took it because that's what she uses. Lene is what she uses. So she took that as well, along with Tier Tier. Um, yeah, and then I have like other stuff that I bought from Olive Young, mostly lipsticks because it's really the only thing that I use. That I'll show you the shades when I wear them. Did do the influencer thing where you put your hand up to focus on the camera? Okay, I will do the influencer thing. Um, so for hair damage, if your hair is damaged or if it's dry or something, they said you can use this. And then other stuff. Also lipstick. I told you it's the only one that I really use. So when I go there, it's the only thing. Okay. It's a candy store. Yeah, for women. It's a candy store for women. Okay, those are my haul from Olive Young. I'm pretty happy with it. So, um, and then I got some for my mom as well. So this is a merch, a BTS merch exclusive to the Philippines. So in the Philippines, we have a mat um, made up of I don't know the material, but bamboo, I guess. So, and this is how it's usually woven. This is the style, but this is not a bamboo mat material. But this is usually, but this is the banig, yes, banig. So this is how it's usually woven. So I guess the trick of BTS or Big Hit is to localize the design so that it resonates with local people. So, and that's why I really love this because it resonates with me because this is a design that's very familiar to me. I've come to love this design. In fact, one of the things that I wanted to do was if I ever buy a house here in the US, I would like to incorporate some of my Filipino aesthetics in my house. And Banig is one of them. So I love this purse. So this is probably what I will end up using when I go back to Korea this September. Not September, this April for the concert next week. um, BTS Museum. You bought it in SK or your daughter bought? My daughter bought it for me. So I can't remember when they had a pop-ups. She had to bring it to Korea when we saw each other. So it's beautiful. And then another time I'll show you some BTS collection. Like this is the Jimin, the artist made collection. This I think this is the earrings. And then so I'll show this to you another time. So I showed this to you when I went to um, Z Millennial, the cafe owned by Jimin's father. I did buy a shirt. So I'll show that to you another time. And the cap. Put an air tag on your purse so you won't lose it. Ish- Who is feeling much better? Oh, good night, everyone. Fire Butterfly, good night. Okay, so uh, that should be enough for now for the show and tell. Let's go and discuss some of the stuff that I wanted to share with you. How did you manage to pack all those in your luggage? I'm a pretty good, like, I pack well. I know, like, yeah. And I also don't bring a lot of stuff in South Korea. So since we rented an Airbnb for the rest of our stay, the only time we rented a hotel was when we was for the concert. So for 2 nights, we stayed in that hotel very close to Gwanghwamun within the square, um, which was very expensive. So I was there for 2 nights, and the rest of the time I rented an Airbnb. So if it's an Airbnb, there's usually washing machine. So I would just do the laundry. So like I would pack just enough shirts for like probably 4 shirts and then just do my laundry. Um, I would bring like more than enough essentials like socks and underwear that I would have a lot of, but like shirts and pants, I would usually just bring enough so that I can do my laundry. Um, and then for my shoes, I would usually bring one. That's what I would be wearing the entire time. I'm not a big like clothing person. So I would bring like a very comfortable pair of shoes, and that would be it. That's what I would be wearing the entire time. I would have like slippers. And it also gives me the freedom to buy stuff if I want to buy something like this. I don't buy like clothes, like just ordinary clothes because uh, I'm not into that. I buy a lot of stuff that I like for like to support BTS. But the rest of the things that others would usually buy, I don't. So yeah, that's how I was able to manage to pack it. The amazing thing is that I actually had my boots with me, which I ended up not using. But I had that big boots with me. If I did not have that, I would have more space in my luggage, which would have allowed me to bring back more newspapers. Um, Unfortunately, I had that with me. So okay. Um, Questions. Do you think K Media gave BTS bad promotion for the comeback because they are not going traditional media route, ignoring K Media mostly? So a lot. I know there were a lot of discussion on like a lot of this media, Korean media, are giving them bad press for a lot of. Oh, someone actually asked me if I got my glasses. Yes, so I have my. This one is actually my reading glasses. So if I wear this, the world is very clear. I can actually read what you're saying, but it's just reading glasses. So I went to the store, to the glass store. What do you call that? Eyeglass store, whatever it is. So I went there on my last day, no, second to the last day. So I didn't actually have time to wait for the glasses that allows you to wear them long distance and as reading glasses. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what that's called. Like for I can wear them all the time basically. If I want to read, I can wear them because I'm farsighted. Yeah, I'm farsighted, meaning I can read from afar. If the stuff is farther away from me, I can read them, but if it's closer to me, I can't. So I need the glasses that would allow me to wear them um like when I'm walking and driving, but also allow me to wear them when I'm progressive. There you go, progressive glasses. I was going to get them, but it takes them 5 days to make it, and I went to the store 2 days before I leave, which would not have give me enough time. But they're great. Like this, I love this glass because as you can see, there's very limited glare, right? So I'm actually, if I want, I can actually wear them when while I'm doing my live stream. So my plan is when I go back there on the very first day, I'll go to the store, get mine fitted. I'll get the glasses, wait for 5 days because I'll be there exactly 5 days and get them before I go home. So this is $65, including the test. So my right is 200 and this is 250. I have a pair like that and two pairs of just reading glasses. It's quite clear. We can see your eyes. Yeah, it's really good. The quality is really good. So when my daughter said like you should get glasses in South Korea, and now I understand why. So your visuals are the same as yours, yeah. But unfortunately, it's just reading glasses. So I when I go back, I'm gonna get like an actual progressive glasses so that I can wear them even when I'm driving. I don't have to take them off and stuff. Okay, so one of the things I think that I've observed about this promotion of BTS is that they are really just doing things their way. And that means not doing your traditional media route. They're not really giving a lot of interviews to local media. A lot of the people that they are allowing in their space are actually very chosen international media people like Jimmy Fallon, that an interview with Zane Lowe, which is one of I would say like probably in the one of the best interviewers I've ever come across with. And so there is an obvious. I think the strategy is pretty obvious, right? I think it's pretty useless to deny it that they're very strategic in who they allow in their space. There's also this huge yeah, iHeartRadio. And then there's this huge controversy about them telling the media that they can only take pictures for the first 10 minutes of the show, which was blown out of proportion because that's the standard practice. If you are a photographer in a concert, I don't know if anyone knows this, but if you are a photographer in a concert, you will be allowed to take pictures in the first three songs, right around 3 minutes. Sorry, right around 10 minutes, because each song would be around 3.5 minutes. So that is the usual practice. That is just how it is done. You can ask concert photographers, that is how they are allowed to take pictures. That is how the system works. You go in, you stay for three songs, and then you're escorted out. If you have a ticket to the concert, then you can stay. But you're going to have to stay where your concert ticket is. But the only time you are allowed to go close to the stage and given certain access backstage is in the first three songs. So the big hit directive of allowing them to take pictures only in the first 10 minutes, that is nothing new. That is how it has always been done. But this is how you know that some, not all, but some Korean media is just grappling for any issue to throw BTS's way, is that they're making a big issue out of it. That is just how things are done. Okay, now someone asked, how do we know about the Fallon show controversy? Some fans talked about it. Now, I don't know what we are only hearing one side of the story. The only time the Fallon show spoke about it was to apologize because of the remark that was perceived to be racist by some armies. But we know about the controversy because some armies talked about it. They went online, they talked about their experience, they felt so offended that they weren't allowed to watch, even though they were given a ticket. They weren't actually allowed to watch them live. They were kept in a room. Some people were chosen to be in the studio and stuff. So but anyway, exactly how would the media be allowed to basically document the concert, especially since Netflix exclusive? Yeah, I that you, you can ask any concert photographers. That's just how it is done. They are allowed 3 songs and then they are escorted out. Korean media was not escorted out. They were just asked, take pictures in the first 10 minutes and then nothing more. But that is just a standard practice. So, but because BTS has always been this, they have always favored Korean media, and we can't fault them for it. They are Koreans after all. They would want to give favor and advantage to their own people. I don't take it against them. But I think it is fair. The first 10 minutes, it is fair. They were not even asked to leave. They were just asked not to take pictures after 10 minutes. Um, it's a pity it overshadowed their performance. I don't think it did. Okay, so according to one person who was actually chosen in the Jimmy Fallon show, so they were escorted in. After that, the phones were confiscated. I can understand why. Their phones were confiscated and then they were led to our room. After that, they were handpicked. So several people were handpicked to be a part of the audience. And apparently, the goal was to be diverse, to show that there is diversity. So they made sure that there were different ethnic backgrounds in the crowd. Basically, if there was a guy in the crowd, they will be chosen because they wanted as many guys in the crowd, again, for representation. Um, so it wasn't about, and of course, they also wanted to make sure that there were enough, like, all sizes, shapes, and colors is what they wanted. If you are a member of if you are obviously a member of LGBTQ, you will be automatically chosen. Again, it's all about projecting representation and stuff. So that was the goal. According to some people, it wasn't really about who was pretty, not pretty, but more about representation, ethnic representation, gender representation, all of those stuff. Okay. So that's how it was chosen. But what made it worse for some people was that while the others were allowed in the space, the others were kept in a room and not even allowed to watch them from afar. They were watching them from a screen, but they were not in the same space. So they were basically watching them on a TV, but not in that space. So, and then, but the rest was like, that was basically the primary complaint. Not that they were treated, I guess the root of their complaint that they were treated badly was based on that. But it wasn't like they were like, ignored or whatever. It wasn't that. It was just that they were put in that space and then not allowed to watch BTS in person. That was the main thing. And then that like the joke about who is there, like, and is anyone from North, joke, they said that it was coming from, like, the conversation was, where were you from, like they were being asked where were you from. Again, it was about representation. If you are They wanted to be as diverse as possible. When the camera pans to the audience, they wanted to make sure that every ethnic group was represented. That's why they were being asked where they were from. And based on that question, someone just remarked, like, anybody from the north or something like that. Um, and I personally, and this is just me, I was not there. I didn't feel the vibe. I did not feel the emotions they were feeling. So it is way easier for me to say this, and probably unfair. But for me, I did not find it offensive. I did find it as a joke, right? But that is easier for me to say because I was not there. Maybe if you're there, if you feel the vibe, if you're if you already feel worried that you weren't going to be seeing BTS, then yeah, like, you will be extra sensitive, and that doesn't make it invalid. Like, what they felt was not invalid. It was like That's a valid emotion. If they felt it was racist, then that is their emotion. Okay. I've noticed it was diverse and think it was great. I think that was, according to some people, that was the main purpose. They just wanted to make sure that when the camera pans to the audience, there was representation because they wanted to make sure that because it was going to reflect on BTS. If it was like, for example, all Koreans, then people are going to say like, oh, all the fans were just Koreans. Or if it was all Asians, then they're just going to say, well, majority of the fans were Asians. So they wanted to make sure everyone was represented. There are caveats all over the place on those TV audience tickets. There are. Correct. Yeah, hearing it from people who were there, it's much different. Correct. Yeah. As I've said, I'm not saying that what they said and what how they felt was invalid. I wasn't there. I'm assuming that majority of those that are here are not there. So we don't know for sure, right? I guess to a certain degree, it's the same thing about me talking about my experience in Gwanghwamun, right? Because people can say like so many things about the event, and to me, I was there. I knew what happened. I felt the energy. I experienced that freaking roundabout. I experienced how strict the police was. I almost became deaf because everyone was just blowing their whistle on my ear and whatever. I knew how chaotic it was, how packed Seoul was. So, like, who are you to tell me that it wasn't a successful event when I was there, right? So, I guess it's the same thing for them. They can tell us the same thing, like, we weren't there. Okay, that's valid. It doesn't make their emotions invalid. Does it mean that that staff member was intending to offend? Probably not. Doesn't change the fact that they were offended. So, two things can be true at the same time. Okay. So, hope that is clear. Okay, so um I kept on getting derailed on what I was gonna say. Okay, so congratulations to Swim. It debuted at number one in Billboard Hot 100. The midweek prediction is that it's going to end up at number five. I would just encourage everybody to keep on streaming because this week, what is going to carry Swim will be streaming. The sales will most likely drop because of the different rules, the rules that Billboard have changed. Billboard has changed, but at least we are predicted to stay inside the top 10. I hope that we can just continue streaming. And I keep on telling everybody the worst thing that can ever happen to your account is be tagged permanently as a bot. So I would just encourage everybody to reasonably stream. So put some other artists in your playlist. There are a lot of lists that are just streaming BTS. You have to put other artists because then you're going to be tagged a bot because that's how a bot actually behaves. And I know it sounds so odd because we're basically a human being is convincing a bot that the human being is not a bot. It's kind of like weird, right? But that's where we are. So include some other artists in your playlists. Do not have any kind of pattern. Be the headache of algorithm. If you don't want someone actually asked me like, isn't that like giving BTS a competition? Well, then choose one unknown artist, a local artist, an independent artist who has like two streams on their account. Like just there are so many artists out there, like a folk artist. Maybe stream some of the collaborators of BTS, One OK Rock, um, Coldplay, maybe. I'm sure Michael Jackson, the Beatles, Whitney Houston, those are not competitions of BTS, right? You can play one of their songs or a local artist, as I've said, Fuji Kaze, Baby Metal, give them a chance. Give them one stream in your day. I don't think that's going to be a competition. Throw off the algorithm. Okay, but we need to keep the stream, so let's keep on streaming. Okay, stream gospel music, gospel music, or any kind of like whatever, like jazz, happy birthday, like Christmas song. I don't know. Just put something in your, and then occasionally change, like delete some of the songs, replace it with another song. You have to do all of those things. Interact with your playlist. Fuji Kaze, that to be considered a bot is wild. It's normal to listen to your favorite over and over. That is the classical way of being dedicated. I know. I know. I made Three, a short, medium, and long with random classics from Michael Jackson, Ariana Grande. I wanted number 29 to chart number one. Okay, so Popcorn did this. These are the only songs that reach number one in Billboard Hot 100. I'm sure you notice a pattern, right? These are the songs by a Korean act that reached Billboard Hot 100. And I'm sure that you see a very, very clear pattern. It's coming from this band, I think they're called like Bangtan Sonyeondan. They're the only ones who charted number one in Billboard Hot 100. So nine, they have nine in total, including the two from two solo artists. I can't remember the names of the solo artists. Maybe like Jimin on Jungkook or something like that. They also charted a number one song. So nine in total. Okay. So number 29 was included in Billboard Hot 100 Brazil and Billboard Hot 100 Philippines. So in two countries, all 14 songs actually charted. Okay. And then they are aiming to stay in number one in Billboard 200. This is going to be the first album if we do make it to stay, if we make it stay in number one. This is going to be their very first album to stay in Billboard 200 multiple days. They will be the only Korean act to do this. I am sure Nicole Kim and Bang PD are so happy and very proud of BTS. Wonder if Bang got teary eyed over the charts. They have come so far. I do my streaming on Spotify only and all day long. Arirang album. You have to stop. I mean, you have to take a rest. A rest. You need to rest. You need to turn it off for an hour here, 30 minutes there. You do need to rest. Okay. So the only band in the world that can chart a song with only one word. Boy. Okay. So if we maintain the sales, if they manage to stay in Billboard 200 number one, this will be the only album of theirs and any Korean act to stay inside Billboard 200 number one for multiple days. They will most likely end up with 170,000 units, and they will be blocking Ye from the number one. This is going to be Ye's first album in 10 years, I think, that will not end up in number one in Billboard 200. So BTS will have 170. This is a midweek prediction. He can still make it. So don't rest on your laurels. So this is just a prediction. So they will end up with 170. Ye will with 117, and then the next one is 83. I expect great results, but they were out of this world. They were absolutely out of this world. So BTS becomes the first and only group and Asian act in history to spend 12 consecutive days at number one in Spotify Global Artist Chart. They have never left the chart for 12 days. They remain to be number one for 12 days. So congratulations to BTS. Yay, going to have to stream fighting. Okay. Um, and then they are so the swim is most likely going to outperform I Just Might in streams and sales on Billboard Hot 100. They are already included in the year end rankings for Billboard Hot 100. So if I'm sure that you remember, every end of the year they would rank different songs for the year end Billboard Hot 100. So they already have enough points to qualify for that list. So they will make it inside Billboard. It's just a matter of positioning for the year end result. So let's just keep on streaming because that is important. And by the way, this is not impossible even if we don't get a lot of radio plays, it's not impossible for us to stay inside there because Who was actually maintained by streams. On the fourth week, the sales went down already, started going down, and that is by design. We know that Billboard Hot 100 already changed their rules, and it wasn't getting any kind of radio plays. So Who was getting carried by streaming. If Who can do that, then Swim can as well. So this is not impossible to keep that inside Billboard Hot 100. Um, so it is currently predicted to land at number 5 in week 2 with 30K sales, 11.6 million streams, and 26.6 million airplays. This would mean that the streams, 11.6 streams, would be 60% of the total score. So let's keep on streaming it. Army, you did it. So the power of armies, do not underestimate us. Army, you did it. Congratulations. So proud of armies. We play BTS, but we don't know if Billboard Philippines counted. Well, all 14 songs made it inside Billboard Hot 100 Philippines, so it is counting. Your streams. I'm spreading the word. Someone at work was asking about BTS. My first suggestion was Swim, just because I love it so much. Yeah, we'll pitch a fit. Okay, so that's another shot of the concert itself. Beautiful picture, right? Okay. So, another thing is that the entire not but that area all the way until Myeongdong, we were like sardines. So it wasn't just the Gwanghwamun area that was packed. It's basically the entire area, and that includes Myeongdong. So it's about 2-3 miles radius. You go anywhere in that 2 to 3 mile radius, and it was just packed to the point that, as I've said, they buses weren't allowed anymore. If you want to go to Myeongdong from Gwanghwamun, you're gonna have to walk. That's like 3 kilometers. So I guess someone said like it's about 2 miles or something like that. But another thing is, aside from the fact that the media did not show all of these establishments and restaurants that were renting out their space, they also did not show how packed Myeongdong was during those 3 days. So the day before the concert, the day of the concert, and the day after the concert. The media did not show that, and that was like mind-boggling to me. As I've said, we had to go to Myeongdong. My daughter had to walk from Myeongdong. So she arrived early morning of the 20th. Sorry. Early, yeah, yeah, yeah. Early morning of the 21st. Yeah, no, sorry. Early morning of the 21st is when she arrived. So around like 1 a.m. She got on the bus, and she was dropped off a station away from the Gwanghwamun Square. So that meant she had to walk like 3-4 kilometers, and she was dropped off in Myeongdong. So, and she was so tired that she didn't even like talk to me in length. She said hi, she kissed me, and then she went off to sleep because she was so tired. So, um, and then that morning when we went around, decided to try and go to the Shinsege pop-up store. We were just packed, like no transportation, so you had to walk. Um, the the middle of the road would always be barricaded, so you're like doing a roundabout everywhere. So, and that was not shown by the media. I don't know why. Like all the establishments in Myeongdong, literally all the establishments, restaurants, Norebang, all of those establishments, they were packed. No pictures. I did not see any pictures, not even online. No one was covering it. So if there is any regret, is that I did not take a picture of all of those. But to my defense, we were really tired because we were walking everywhere. But like all of this, like cameramen that were going around, there were reporters. I'm like, what? You didn't take videos of those? Like, are you stupid? Like, this is what you're supposed to be covering, and no one took a picture. Even the day before, because I was there a day before my daughter arrived, and I went live. So I went to the 2013 BTS pilgrimage. I went to the original restaurant they would eat in when they were still trainees. I went to the first building. I went to their first dorm, second dorm, third dorm. I went to the park, and I took you with me in that. And those places were also packed. No coverage. Absolutely no coverage. So I guess if I had any, and I told you on that day, like I only decided to carry one phone, which was really a very stupid move for me because I had two phones with me. And I rented the other one specifically because And I rented a SIM for the other one so that I could go around with Wi-Fi. I decided not to carry it because to bring it with me because I was alone and I thought like my purse was already so heavy and I was like maybe one phone would do it. I already had my charger with me. I had the pocket Wi-Fi and stuff. So that was the only regret. If I had two phones with me, I would be able to cover all of those. I didn't. So stupid. But a learning experience. Next time I would do it. Okay. Um but it's great we have you to tell us the real picture. So this is like that this entire area in the middle, it was packed. So that's the right in the middle of your screen is the Gyeongbokgung Palace, and right in front of it would be the square. That entire radius, that's packed. All of it, that entire area was packed. So um I think I am just glad that in the morning of the concert, I actually went live. And the night before the concert, I also went live. So I got there on the 19th, went live. So I showed you the area. 20th, I went live. I went to my 2013 BTS pilgrimage. I went live there. Went back to the Gwanghwamun Square, went live again. I showed you the progress. So at least I have some of that. On the 21st itself in the morning, I went live. So you kind of saw the morning chaos. But like leading up to the actual event in the afternoon, I would have loved to take more videos. I didn't, but I told you that story already. Okay. And then foreigners accounted for 25% of the comeback concert crowd. I don't know where they got this. So, in the area I was in, as I've told you, I was right in the center in front of the stage in the standing area. Majority were foreigners. There were very, very few Koreans. There were some Koreans, majority of them were foreigners. And when I say majority, I mean majority. I would probably say a safe 90% of that middle area, those are all foreigners. So I'm not saying that that middle area is the representation of the entirety of that Gwanghwamun Square crowd, but at least in the area where I was in, that's like 90%, 95% foreigners. So don't know where the 25% came from. But based on my experience, based on what I saw, majority foreigners. Even when I was walking around, majority foreigners. Again, I say when I was walking around, doing the roundabout, I'll say very, very safe 80% foreigners. So don't know where that 25% came from. But I have no scientific way of proving it, right? So, okay, so the roundabout was 1 mile away in the morning. So 1 mile one way in the morning, 9 o'clock when we got, that's 1 mile away. And it expanded and expanded and expanded all the way until it got to about 2 to 3 miles roundabout. Okay, one way. So yeah, so as I've said, in our area where I was in, majority foreigners. Those that were checked in the hotel where I was, Koreana Hotel as well, foreigners. So don't know where the 25% is coming from. This media is a joke. Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. So the other thing is the closest hotel was the Four Seasons Hotel. Completely shut down because that's where BTS was. So apparently what happened was when Big Hit contacted them, and they did this months before, like 2025, when BTS booked the hotels. And I think for this is what I heard. So for BTS, like for example, if BTS will be in this is just an example, if they're going to be occupying the fourth floor, Big Hit will rent out the second, third, fifth, and sixth to make sure that BTS is not going to be disturbed. So most of the time, they're going to be putting their own staff in those floors, but the entirety of one floor will all be BTS. So no one else is going to be there but BTS themselves and the staff. So, for example, let me repeat that. If BTS is going to occupy fourth floor, this is just an example. Then second and third floor, fifth and sixth will all be rented out. Now, It was actually Four Seasons' decision to not accept anyone else. So they shut down the entire hotel for 3 days. No one can actually check in. You can't get a room in there. So and they were like that is the closest hotel to the Gwanghwamun Square. Joyful. Okay. Um, so this reporter said that so a lot of the speculation was that wow, that sounds like a presidential booking because I remember when presidents came to stay in a hotel, they booked 2 floors down, 2 floors up to where the presidents will be. Fairlane, I know you are speaking truth. I have absolutely no reason to lie. So the I don't know. Again, the only regret that I have is that I didn't take more videos. Had I known, I would have. Anyway, next time I know better, right? Okay. So now a lot of people were betting for BTS to not make it in the top 5 of Billboard Hot 100. So they said that this is going to be the start of the downfall of BTS, that BTS full western in this album. Like a lot of people were like, yeah, this is like this is a western album, all of those types of narratives, and they were betting that BTS weren't going to make it inside Billboard Hot 100 top 5. They did. Not only the top 5, but they fielded all of their songs, and if number 29 was not disqualified, it also would have made it inside Billboard Hot 100. uh, I think my dog wants to go out. Give me 1 second. Okay, so so they did make it to number one, filled it in all of their songs, and if number 29 was not disqualified, it also would have made it inside Billboard Hot 100. Now, this reporter is now saying they're moving the goalpost now because BTS got to Billboard Hot 100. Number one, they're moving the goalpost. And this reporter is saying that first week is not counted. It shouldn't be counted as part of their success because these are just fans welcoming BTS. She's basically saying that the general public is actually not listening. It's just that the fans are um this is being carried by the fans. The fans are the ones that are doing their best. Let me just put this in silent. Okay. It's just the fans that are streaming. So they're saying like, yeah, no, it doesn't count because the fans are just making a concerted effort to make it a success. Okay. Um So he's framing BTS's chart performance not just as a commercial success, but a surge driven by long anticipation of fans. So and he's downplaying the success of BTS. But everyone that I have met here in the US that have are not fans of BTS are impressed with what BTS has done. One of the things that resonate with the locals is actually body to body, and the part that impresses them the most, and they like the song because of Arirang. So it is BTS's effort to put the Korean flavor in their songs that's actually capturing the Western market. Everyone has heard of the Gwanghwamun comeback, and they are making an effort to understand what that is about. It doesn't change the fact that they are not fans. They are still not fans of BTS, but they all appreciate the effort of BTS to offer something local to the global market. But it's their own media, some of them at least, that are actually downplaying the achievement of BTS. So even the locals in Korea, a lot of them are saying, some Korean medias are saying that locals hate it and whatever. Everyone that I have met have been welcoming that are everyone that I've met in Korea, they're all very proud of what BTS has done for Korea. And everyone that I've met are very welcoming of the foreigners that are there to support BTS. I have never met a single one who despised BTS. And I made an effort to talk to as many people as I can, from the store owners to the local ones. I think I told you the story that when I got there, I was carrying two big suitcases, pretty heavy, and one small one. And there was this one local guy who actually approached me and offered me help and said that, like, he asked me if I'm an army, and he sort of thought that I was an army because of the keychains on my purse. He recognized them as BT-21 and said, like, "Are you an army? Are you here for BTS?" I said, "Yes." So he said, "Okay, I will help you." So he helped me push my luggages, which is a good kilometer away from the bus stop. He helped me. It was heavy. I was very thankful. And he was like, we all appreciate you being here. You're helping Korea. BTS is helping Korea. And he said, when BTS goes to the US, please make sure that you support them. So I have never, everything that I have encountered on ground opposes what this media people are talking about. They're talking about locals hating BTS. Never met a single one who hated BTS. Sure, they were inconvenienced. There were some people who were like irritated that they had to walk, but it was like a part of it. Like they understood it happens. So all those people that are making noise, invalid. um, there was not a single Korean who was rude to me. Not a single one. Not even anyone within my vicinity. They were all very helpful. We can see how inconvenient it was for them for 2 days or 3 days, maybe. Not a single one complained. They were all very nice to us. They would help us answer our questions. Some of them would even go to Papa Go if they were trying to tell us something that we couldn't understand. So all those people saying that Koreans hate BTS, I have not encountered a single Korean that hated BTS. Okay. It's netizens online forums, and my theory is that they are paid negative marketers. I'm going to share something about that. So was police too strict, just like what I shared earlier? Maybe it was an overkill. Maybe if they pulled back a little bit, it still would have resulted to the same thing. But at the end of the day, there were no incidents. So look at that crowd. It was very loose. I think they could have fit more people, but who knows what would have happened. The mere fact that at the end of the event, nothing happened, nothing tragic happened, no one was shot, no one was hurt, I would say they did their job perfect, because that's what they were there for. They were there to make sure everyone was safe, especially BTS and the crowd, of course, and their families, and they did that. So they accomplished what they were set for. Now, the good thing is that now they can learn from this one, right? One of the things that they kept on doing was sending out so look at that. So this was the morning of, I think this was the day before the event. Like those were seats in the middle, those were seats. And look at how loose it is, like right in front of it, and at the back it was blank. That's not a standing area. They just left it blank, vacant on purpose. I'm so happy that everyone was safe. Yes. So tourism and foreign visitors, according to them, foreign arrivals in South Korea rose 32.78% year over year in early March 2026, 1 to 18, with many fans visiting Seoul holy sites. They call all the spots of BTS a holy site. So the 2013 BTS area, the restaurant they used to eat in, the building, the the dorms, that's a holy site, and all the other BTS the city area, that's a holy site. So that's what they are referring to in this one, in this statistic. Now the other thing that happened was there were many businesses that were actually using BTS IP to promote their business. They were doing their own promotions, they were doing their own marketing, they had their own banners. They were all using BTS and their IP. And when I say IP, that's nil. name, image, and likeness. So many of these businesses would offer something special to armies. If you go in there, you either have a cup sleeve or a free something, whatever it is, but anything related to BTS, photo card or whatever. And Big Hit just let them. So all those businesses around Gwanghwamun, businesses all the way to Myeongdong, they were using BTS IP. Big Hit didn't catch, like they weren't asked to take them down. And we all know how strict Big Hit is when it comes to using BTS IP. All these small businesses, they were just allowed to use BTS IP for the day. And they were free to do so. So was Big Hit and BTS acknowledged for it? No. No one acknowledged them. No one thanked them. The small businesses were very thankful that they were not being asked to take it down. And Big Hit staff knew of them. So all those people that were distributing newspapers, they were accompanied by a BTS staff. So they were dispersed around Myeongdong, around that area. So they could see all of the small businesses using the IP of BTS. They could have been easily reported, but they were being allowed to just use the IP of BTS for the day. They were free to do so. Um, but the media did not thank BTS for it. Obviously, they were using the IP for free. And some of the business owners knew of it. Like the Norebang and the cafes around Gwanghwamun, all of them said like they don't have any kind of license to use BTS IP. They were just using it because that's the theme of the day. So they were very thankful. But did the media acknowledge BTS for it? No. Did the media thank Big Hit for it? No. Everyone just kept on talking about them not meeting targets and whatever. Obviously, they met the target, and a lot of people benefited from their IP, but no one thanked them. Okay, so that's another one. I think this is a 7-Eleven store. It's not, I think, but it is a 7-Eleven store. And they had like, welcome BTS Army, all 7-Eleven stores, GS25, all of those like convenience stores that they had like a welcome BTS Army poster, banners. They had like special promos for them. They would package their uh, what you call that, the triangle bibimbap or something. They would package them with purple whatever with pictures of BTS. No one was asking them to stop. And also they had like special products for BTS fans, for armies. They were free to do so. Okay, so this is another, it's a cafe. They don't have a license to use BT21, but they were allowed to do so for the day, for the day before and the day of the concert. They were just allowed to use it. No one was asking them to stop. This is why BTS did not use any Korean media. They really don't like that they have no control over BTS. And so aside from that, no one was reporting on the different fan projects. There were a lot of projects. Like each of the, so there are solo fan clubs, right? Of each member, for each member. So, and that's for everybody, not just for Jungkook. It's just that that's the picture that I pulled. But many of these fan bases, solo fan bases, had their own projects. So from billboards to cafes, partnerships with cafes. Some of them had people around, just like walking around and distributing different freebies. Uh, Lots of great fan projects that added to the experience because it's nice to be handed like a keychain or a clip or whatever. You're being handed free stuff and it's cute. No one was reporting on that. So there were also free coffee trucks for police officers that were sponsored by armies, by different fan bases. No one reported on that. The different, like the staff of BTS for the concert, there was a coffee truck for them that was sponsored by a BTS fan base. No one reported on that. There were free packs for fans, coffee for fans, all free. You can just walk in, get a cup, sponsored by fan bases. No one reported on that. So there were some fan bases that would help you for free if you can't find your hotel, if you're having trouble with hotel, like all of those stuff. There were so many things going on. No one reported on all of this. Um, and there were so many media people around. like, uh, it's just frustrating. I thought that at the very least, like those coffee trucks giving away free coffee to just to about everybody, actually, just they you can just go and get a cup and they'll give it to you for free. I thought that would make the headlines, right? That would make the newspaper. Someone is going to report on that. That's why I didn't bother to take a picture. No one did. I did not know that Korean media could go this low. I had absolutely no idea they could go this low for no one to actually report on that. Okay. Next, so the hotel bookings by foreign visitors surged 103% in the week of the concert compared to previous weeks. So that's like Myeongdong, City Hall, Jongno, Dongdaemun areas. Many hotels near the venue actually reached full capacity. So um, there are some armies that actually started sharing their hotels to other armies that couldn't find any accommodation. Retail and sales in Myeongdong. This was reported by Bloomberg. Shinsege, duty free in Myeongdong. The merchandise sales rose 430%. So this is where we walked to, which was around 4 or 5 kilometers away from the other end of Gwanghwamun. So that would be the Gyeongbokgung Palace. So it rose 430%. Calvin Klein sales, which is which is being represented by Jungkook, went up 240%. Fairlane, we just want to sit by a campfire and just listen to you. Very happy you got to experience. Yeah, I just wish I did not know Korean media would go this low. Honestly, I did not expect it. The Lotte department store, Myeongdong area, weekend sales up to 30% year on year. And this is significant, again, because it's far from the Gyeongbokgung Palace, from the Gyeongbokgung Palace in the Gwanghwamun area. You have to walk like 3 4 kilometers, 4 or 5 kilometers away to get to these areas. And they still were, the business actually improved during the 2 days or that weekend. Shinsegae department store went up 41 to 48% during the concert period. And then you have the daily sales in Myeongdong and Gangnam went up 300% during the comeback week. A single domestic BTS concert is estimated to generate 1.2 trillion won in business. So that would be economic ripple effect. And I don't think we will get the exact figure until like after maybe a quarter. Maybe in the last quarter of this year is when we're actually going to get the actual figures. Now, this is some of the notification that we were getting from a week before the concert. Police was already pushing notifications on people's phones to not go to that area on those dates because it was going to be blocked off. For reference, 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles. So that's how far we walked. Okay. And this is BTS the city. This we're already past 2 hours, so I'll just finish this one and then I'll continue next time. So this is BTS the city. The idea. This is the love center. This is the love. I can't remember the name, but this is like one of the most vibrant areas they set up. So those plates on the floor, if enough people jump on it at the same time, you can change the music playing in the park. So of course they were playing BTS music. So the entire area can actually hear the song. But if enough people jump on it at the same time, you can change the song playing. That's the idea. So the tendency is for you to call other armies, right? Like, oh, come on, let's jump at the same time. So there is a staff that will give you instructions. Okay, wait, 1, 2, 3, jump, because it has to be at the same time for you to change the music. That's the idea of that those plates on the floor. And then that tower, if you can see the tower in the middle, that you'll see the lyrics of the songs playing. Okay. So you're all looking at the same thing. So if you are successful, if you generate enough energy to change the song, then the lyrics will change as well. Okay, and then you can queue up in one area. They'll give you like that ribbon and of course a marker. You can write your message, pin it on a column in the middle, and um, this is how it looks like from above. So those are all the messages that BTS armies left behind. So it looks like the Arirang logo. When you're on the floor, you don't actually see what it is shaped like. So you have to be looking at it from above to see that it is actually the Arirang logo. And then BTS and Energy go together for sure. Yeah. And then there's like swings that you can sit down on and just swing, just chill in that area. And then there is a photo booth. So there's like, I think there's probably like 10. You can go in, take a picture of yourself. You can download it. um, they will print it for you, and also you can download it on your phone. So my daughter and I recreated the Jimin and Jungkook photo booth after they got discharged from the military. And then this is the area where you can sit down. There is a concert in the beginning. That middle area is the stage. So there were different performers there in the artists. And all the the chairs and the mats on the ground, they were all provided by Big Hit. So if there's any vacant spot, you can just take it, just sit down and just enjoy the music. And then there are food carts that were not, these are just food carts in Korea. They just went there because there were a lot of people there. You can bring in the food, queue up, pay, then bring in the food. You get stamped when you visited the place. So yeah, this is part of the stamp rally. In the different areas that you're going to be visiting, there is a QR code. You scan it, and then it goes to your app, your Weverse app, and you get a stamp. So I went live in this area when one of the, I think I aired like one of the performers. Some of you actually managed to watch the girl perform. And then a rainbow clapper. Oh, thank you, OD780W. Now, this is how I will be closing today. Ticketing. This is one of the most important things. We do not stand a chance against Koreans. So if you go to Null, if you are a foreign one, if you are a foreigner, you get kicked out every 10 minutes, right? You have 10 minutes to book it. If you don't find anything, sorry, you're going to have to line up again. You're going to have to go to the end of the queue. But if you are Korean, you can just park inside. So you just keep on clicking and clicking until something becomes available. There is no time limit. If you have the entire afternoon, then you can just have the entire afternoon, park your account, wait for something to pop up. But if you are a foreigner, you get kicked out every 10 minutes. So that is why you can actually pay people, Koreans, to park your account. So that is insane. Now, this is not for the BTS concert. This is for another act. Um, they were advised by the staff of that entertainment company to just buy from resellers. Crazy. So, um, that was like, that was mind-boggling for me because I thought that we are supposed to encourage people to not resell their tickets. But for them, they were actually being encouraged to just buy from resellers. So they said, no, the tickets are not going to be released. If you want to get into the concert, you're going to have to buy from reseller. Absolutely insane. So now I kind of understand why not, well, I still don't think it is right, but now I understand why people would actually hire Koreans to log in their account and park it there. Just wait until you get a ticket. because you won't get kicked out if you are from Korea. We don't stand a chance. And then the scalpers would actually, so even for Gwanghwamun Square, there were a lot of scalpers. Tickets were actually free, but they were selling it. And many of the scalpers would actually rather lose on a deal than pull the price down because they don't want to set a precedent. So that is, I guess, one of the biggest learnings that I got, that if you want to compete against Koreans for tickets, you're going to have to be extremely lucky to actually get a ticket, because the system is set up to give them an advantage. So there. Are we having members live Friday? Yes, we're having a members live Friday. So I'll be disclosing, not, well, telling you more stories that I cannot talk about in public. But I'll give you more stories about that, and I'll show you some more stuff. But on Wednesday, I'll continue. There's a lot more for me to share. So for the regular videos, I will be going through the album. I'm going to dissect each of the songs, the music videos. I'm going to share a little bit more about Old Boy. I'm sure that you've heard that the 2.0 music video was actually inspired by Old Boy, which is true. It was inspired by Old Boy. That's a great movie. So I'll talk about that. I'll discuss the album, a lot more stuff coming in. And then next week, I will be flying back to Korea again for the concert. This is going to be a much shorter stay. This was the original, the original schedule I actually had to go there. Do we have goals for the Adjushi's new MV? um, that's too complicated. That's too complicated. Thank you. Good night. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you Wednesday, and I will see you in the comment section in the videos. I will be visiting the Discord channel because I'm still not done distributing the tickets. And I think I have like maybe less than 3 refunds or something to finish. So I'll see you there and also on Patreon. Okay. Good night. Bye.